Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do the February 4th, just for today, in a meditation. The title of the meditation for today, Feeling Good Isn't the Point. For us, recovery is more than just pleasure. That comes from the basic text, page 43. In our active addiction, most of us knew exactly how we were going to feel from one day to the next. All we had to do was read the label on the bottle or know what was in the bag. We planned our feelings, and our goal for each day was to feel good. In recovery, we're liable to feel anything from one day to the next, even from 1 minute to the next. We may feel energetic and happy in the morning, then strangely let down and sad in the afternoon. Because we no longer plan our feelings for the day each morning, we could end up having feelings that are somewhat inconvenient, like feeling tired in the morning and wide awake at bedtime. Of course, there's always the possibility we could feel good, but that isn't the point. Today, our main concern is not feeling good, but learning to understand and deal with our feelings, no matter what they are. We do this by working the steps and sharing our feelings with others. Just for today, I will accept my feelings, whatever they may be, just as they are. I will practice the program and learn to live with my feelings. Excuse me. That's a beautiful meditation. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. So this meditation is talking about feeling good not being the point. And I think feeling good is an okay thing to want, right? However, the way that we went about feeling good when we were in active addiction was we planned. We planned it. We made sure that we were high. And a lot of times, even during that, we didn't necessarily feel good, but we sure were shooting for the stars, weren't we? We were trying to make sure that we can control every facet of everything, every interaction, just so we could avoid those down days, those down feelings, the letdown, the withdrawals. But now that we're in recovery, we don't get that choice. I mean, we get a choice about having a beautiful day on purpose, but that implies that there's going to be some things that are going to come our way that we will not necessarily like, and our feelings won't necessarily be the most enjoyable, but we intend to make the best out of a bad situation. That's having a beautiful day on purpose, right? And so the point is that feeling good isn't the goal. It's not the point, because we know that that's not realistic to think that we will feel that way 24/7. The point, the goal, is to be able to make the needed adjustments to whatever we feel. Okay, so you're angry right now. Okay, acknowledge that. Sit with that for a few minutes. And then roll your sleeves up and let's do some work about why you're angry. Okay, so why are you angry? And what was your part in the situation? Is it possible that the anger you're feeling is out of proportion to the part that you played? Do you even have a right to be angry? Oh, you do. Okay. So now that we've established that, what do you want to do about the anger? What can you do about it? Hold a resentment? Go to the person and talk about it? What can you actually do about the anger? And why let something like that dictate the whole rest of your day? All of your interactions with everyone that you encounter afterwards is bitter because you're angry about this particular person or situation. See, So now I introduce spiritual principles and applying them in all of my affairs. There's a way to deal with anger. There's a way to deal with joy. You ever been around somebody that's happy all the time, out of proportion to what's really going on? I would venture to say that that's a mental illness. I would. I mean, that's probably what people think about me, right? Like, really? She's always smiling about everything. No, I'm not always smiling. If you catch some of these pictures of me in the internet, there's times when my jaws are so tight, you would think that I was about to blow a bubble. Or not blow a bubble. You would think I was swimming in the ocean, right? Because my lips are so tight, right? You can see every bone, every muscle in my face. And I think to myself, what's going on that you had that particular look on your face at that particular time, right? Yeah, that's an indication that a lot of times what you see is not necessarily what you get, right? I'm trying to have a beautiful day on purpose. Not that I am. One feeling I'm dealing with right now, let's just bring it to the here and now and give you a real example, right? Which I'm pretty sure you already know what I'm going to talk about, but let's just talk about real quick. Let's talk about in 1 minute. The emotion that I'm having right now is that this weekend we are going to have a celebration of life for my father, my biological father. And I need to say that because I did have a daddy that stepped up, right? So my biological father, and I'm going to see, I have one sibling of his pass away. So I'm going to see 5 of my siblings and their family units. And I'm coming into their town. I think by far traveling the farthest. I'm not sure, but I'm coming into town and I am going to have 7 people with me, 7 family members. And there's always been this impression in my mind that I am, the child from Michigan. No one really knows me, but they know I'm his first child from Michigan. And I am having some hesitation about these interactions because when I was a kid, right? I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a full grown woman. And a lot of the interactions from when I was a child was not always healthy nor positive about his daughter from Michigan. And I have a lot of that embedded in my mind. Some of the comments, some of the behaviors towards me and this child, right? That he's insisting on introducing to his other children, right? And I I not from them per se, right? But from the adults that were in our lives there at that time. And I'm not sure how many of them will be there. I'm assuming that I will see some. But already my mind has prepared a special speech for each one, right? I have a special speech for each one because I was quirky. I was definitely a quirky child. I scared easily. And a lot of the environment I was in left me in a state of anxiety constantly until I could get back home to Michigan. And a lot of times that was a joke, right? And so I have like in my mind some people that I just want to say, you know what? You weren't nice then, and I would be willing to bet that you're still evil. That's what I want to say. But you guys, right? Like I said, I'm a full grown woman. Those are feelings, resentments from the past, right? And actually, they have no place in this weekend. I can see them, I can acknowledge them, but I don't have a right to act out on any of that. And I need to apply spiritual principles in all of my affairs. I need to do that. I'm going to do that. But don't you think, for instance, that I'm not aware that I have these feelings? and that I'm going to not practice. Don't think for an instant that I'm not going to practice the program. I am going to practice the program because that is what I have learned is most successful and gives me the most peace. So what about you? What are you feeling? And what are you going to do about it? I like in here where it says that sometimes we have feelings that are somewhat inconvenient. Did you see this? Look at this. Like feeling tired in the morning and wide awake at bedtime. And I thought to myself, since when is insomnia like a feeling or exhaustion, hypersomnia, right? When is it a feeling? But the point is that sometimes we feel tired. Not that we actually are, because our body has rested, right? I said, oh, that is interesting, right? To look at it from a point of view of feeling. And if I think of it like that, then I can push past that too. If I'm just feeling tired, it's going to pass. I just need to push, right? I'm not talking about exhaustion and mental exhaustion where you're about to have an emotional breakdown. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the feeling of being tired when you know you've just rested 8-10 hours, right? So that was interesting. That was a learn for me today. Listen, family, my name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you. I hope that you have a beautiful day on purpose.